anyone quite like her before.
Hello, good afternoon. Good afternoon to you from all over where you are logging in from. We are live on YouTube, we are live on Instagram, we are live on Facebook, so I'm going to be changing positions. My face will be turning different. Thank you, Pastor Cheta. I can see you. Yeah, you're live. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Please wave at me. Oh dear. Thank you so much for logging into this program. Abayomi, yes, I can see you. Please wave and let me know where you are. If you are, I'd like to know where you are logged in from. If you are on YouTube, please tell me where you are logged in from. From Nigeria, from out of the country, from different locations. Please let us know where you are logged in from. Today, I'm going to try as much as possible to make the session as not as long. I won't make it very long. I want it to be like 1 hour session. So I'm going to be answering questions. I have quite a number of questions here. But before I answer the questions, I just thought that I should do a brief health talk, which is customary to what I like to do. My name is Dr. Rita Jabin, and if you are logged in for the first time, I want to welcome you to this live session, and I want you to please, oh yes, from Paris, thank you for logging in from Paris. Please let me know where you are logged in from. I'm checking from YouTube. I'm checking for comments. I want to know where you're logged in from. You know? So I'm waiting. All right. So today we're going to be talking about fatty liver disease, diabetes, because last week we talked about cholesterol, but I'm going to be answering some questions. But the way I'm going to be talking about it, basically to be around all the questions that I've received, but I'm just going to talk a little on the fatty liver disease. So please drop your comments in the comment section. You know, I'd like to hear from you where you are logged in from. Please, I'm looking at the chat. I'm not seeing the chat yet. Okay, thank you. Oh, my dad is here, Dr. Jabin. is here. Okay, I need to hear. Okay, so basically online from this place now, I'm seeing Titilayo, Grace, Sandra, Elu, Olafimio. Where are your people? Your people are supposed to be here. Oh, I'm not seeing your people. So anyway, let's get into the topic for today: fatty liver disease. Fatty liver disease is a common condition, and is simply a condition in which caused by excess storage of fat in the liver, which comes from high cholesterol. And I want to say, if you were not around for the last webinar that we did, the video is live on the Ask Dr. Rita page. You can watch the video and it will tell you a lot more about cholesterol and what leads to the different types of lipids we have in the body, and what leads to high cholesterol and what you can do. Oh, Mr. Victor, yes, that's good. I want to know from Uyo. That's beautiful. Thank you very much. I need to know where you are logged in from. Okay, thank you so much. So I like to just quickly say that if you are logging in for the first time, you were not in the last session, please try and watch the last video. It's on the page, and it will provide you with a lot of other information I've talked about. I talked about the body defense, I talked about cholesterol, I talked about cancer. You know, so I want you to take advantage of that. And so fatty liver, it's a condition that is caused by excess of fat, and there are different types of liver disease, but fatty liver comes under non-alcoholic fatty liver disease. This is a condition that happens to people who don't take alcohol. There is what you call alcoholic fatty liver disease that is caused by excess of consumption of alcohol, and then there is non-alcoholic fatty liver disease, which is what I'm focused on. So you don't take alcohol, you don't smoke, and then you go to do tests and you find out that, oh, you are having high fatty liver. You're wondering, why do I have this? This basically comes from excess of cholesterol. You know, like you see, excess of fat, and fat means the oil, you know. So excess of cholesterol in the body usually results in fatty liver. And I talked about cholesterol on 2 weeks ago. So what are the signs of fatty liver? Number one sign of fatty liver, or one of the leading cause of fatty liver, Dr. Eno from Uyo, thank you for logging in, Dr. Eno. You know, one of the common cause of fatty liver is elevated cholesterol, and that's why if you were in the last session when I talked about high level of cholesterol, I said when the levels are high for more than normal, the body compensates and begins to store, and one of the places where the body stores is in the, aside from the arteries, then it stores in the liver. You know, so one of the signs of fatty liver is elevated cholesterol. Then another, so I'm giving you classical signs that are not similar, that are not very similar to other conditions. You know, so sleepiness, especially after eating. You know, you feel like when you just finish eating and then you are feeling sleepy, especially when you have had a fatty meal, you'll be feeling sleepy, and then headaches after eating. Doesn't necessarily have to be that you are having ulcer or that you're having high sugar level, because sometimes people assume that, oh, when I finish eating, I'm feeling headache, I'm feeling tired after meals. Sometimes, most of the times actually, although yes, that can be found in diabetes. When we get to diabetes, we'll talk about it, but you know, most of the time is usually as a result of elevated fat in the liver. And then there's pain in the right side of the abdomen, because of course the liver is located in the abdominal region, and it goes from the left to the right. You know, we have the left and the right quadrant of the liver, you know, so that right location, usually at this upper part here, person will feel pain, and the pain may be even immediately after meal or when the person is very hungry. You know, so don't be quick to assume that the pain you feel in your stomach is ulcer, and you know, try as much as possible to, I always encourage you to do tests, to do investigations, to do an assessment first before you take medications. Don't be quick to drink things and say, oh, I'm having pain. You know, because ulcer is a common condition. People tend to quickly say, oh yes, it's ulcer, and then they go drinking things. Be careful, because a lot of irreversible damages have been done to the liver and to the kidney because of things that people take as home remedies or medications that people abuse or misuse. Number 4 sign of fatty liver is pain in your big toes. Pain in your big toes that radiate alongside the outside of your leg. Sometimes this can be misunderstood to be felt to be like gouty arthritis. It can also be in gouty arthritis, but also this is a classical sign. Bitter taste in the mouth, foul smelling stool. I mean, there are some people that when they use the toilet for the next 1 hour, nobody can use that nobody can use the toilet. That is an indication that there's something, too much of fat. Bad breath, hard stool, constipation, blood in the stool, loss of appetite, dry skin. So when you are experiencing dry skin and you are thinking of how to go and rub something to make your skin shine, you need to now begin to check. Thank you very much, Samson Adetokbe, joining from Ibadan. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. I'd like to hear from you. Where are you joining us from? Please send us. Thank you for the waves. Thank you for the love. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from you. Where are you joining us from? From Facebook. I'd like to know. From Instagram. We have someone from Paris. We have some people from Abeokuta. We have some people. So I'd like to know, where are you joining me from? So I'm going to be looking at the different directions. Don't worry. I'm trying to see, to be able to carry everybody along. Alright, so what are the tests that you can do to find out? Because fatty liver, these signs, you may not be experiencing all of these signs, or you may be experiencing it, or you just want to find out what to do to keep yourself. It's always good to prevent. Prevention is the best and safest way to be healthy than to be looking for treatment or to be looking for cure. You know, so what are the tests that you can do to find out? An abdominal scan is a very good test, and there are 2 types of abdominal scans that can be done. You can do an ultrasound. Ultrasound is simple. It's just like the normal scan that pregnant women do. Go to any lab and say, I want to do an abdominal scan. Or you can do a CT scan. I usually always prefer CT scan because sometimes an abdominal scan, I've had people come to me and they have come with enlarged liver, but they didn't have fatty liver. The ultrasound just showed that, oh, hepatomegaly, which is a condition that I will talk about another time, that is enlargement of the liver, and there are several things that can cause enlargement of the liver. And so the person has come with enlargement of the liver, but didn't show fatty liver. And then the person was treated, but the person was still having these complaints. These complaints were still there. And so the person went to do a CT scan, and the CT scan showed very, 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 very dangerous levels of fatty liver. In fact, the person was already moving into stages of having some part of the liver irreversibly damaged. You know, so a CT scan will give you more details. Sometimes because a CT scan is more digitalized, and it's designed to be able to find in more details than an ultrasound. An ultrasound is like as if you go and take a picture. It's like a picture. They are all picture, but there are different grades of picture. So one has rays that will go deeper into the tissues to look deeper than the other. So, you know, so if you can afford a CT scan, please do a CT scan of your abdomen to check all the organs within the abdominal cavity. And then a liver function test. A liver function test usually assesses the enzymes. You know, you don't want to wait for your liver enzymes to be abnormal, because when the liver enzymes are abnormal, it already is indicating that there's an alteration in the functioning of the liver, and it's the abnormality of liver enzyme will show in other areas of the body, because a lot of the functions of the body, the liver has to do it. I mean, the liver contributes to almost 80% of all the functions of other organs and all the systems. So an abnormality with the liver is going to definitely show in other areas of the body. All right, I hope you are hearing me. I hope you are learning. Oh, thank you so much. Joining from Warri, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes. Thank you so much. I'd like to hear from you. There are some people that are supposed to be here that have not logged in, so please talk to them, let them log in. Then the last test that you can do to check your, to be able to use to check, to be able to rule out fatty liver or check the state of your liver is a lipogram or a lipid profile. A lipid profile is different from just going to do, you know, I have people come to me and they come to me with one result of, you just go and do total cholesterol and bring. Total cholesterol is not enough. You need to do a lipogram. That is a test that analyzes all of the fats in the body, and there are different laboratories that do it. There are some labs that when you come with the result, they will even check. I mean, I looked at a report, someone sent a report to me some days ago. The laboratory was able to check even the other types of lipid that I mean that are not common, that usually other labs don't commonly check. But if you go to a lab, tell them you want to do a lipogram, they should do a lipogram and or a lipid profile. So let me run through the test again that you can do. You can do abdominal scan, you can do a liver function test, and a lipogram or a lipid profile test. Now this lipid profile test helps to analyze your whole oils in your body, your triglycerides, your HDL, your LDL. Last time I talked about the different oils. I talked about the intermediate, I talked about the LDL, the HDL, and I talked about the triglycerides. So all that are in the video. You can look at that because I want to get into the questions that have been asked. I don't want to go back to that, but you can look at all that I talked about. It's available on the page there. It's there for you. So when you do this test, on the basis of this test, it will tell you what next to do. But usually for me, I always advise people. So people come to me, there are two types. I render a lot of services, but I just want to say to you that, so there is what you call a consultation, where people come and say, I'm having headache, I'm having back pain, I'm having this complaint. That is a consultation. I sit down and listen to your problem, and then I send you to do tests, and then we now make a recommendation on the basis of what it is. Then there's what you call a health assessment. A health assessment is that we want to profile your system to check you very well. So people who come to do health assessment, some of them are not sick, but they're trying to prevent sickness, so that you can be able to have a lifestyle adjustment. You see, when I get to the question and answer session, there are some of the other things I'm going to talk about, but I have situations where people ask, what can I do? Your lifestyle contributes to a lot of the problems that you have. But then, what is an acceptable lifestyle? The acceptable lifestyle for Mr. A may not be acceptable for Mr. B, because unless you do an assessment to check, and during a health assessment will check your blood sugar balance, will check your immune function, will check your allergic reaction, will check your hormonal system, we check your mind and your health, your mental level, we check it, we check several areas, and on the basis of that assessment, a recommendation is made, which is not general recommendation, which is not go and eat this, go and eat that, or don't go and eat this. A lifestyle adjustment is made that helps your cells. I like you to watch that video that I did, because I talked about the different body cells. How does disease come about? Why does the body break down? Why is it that some people have some illness in a family, some people tend to have an aggravated disease, and then some others don't have it, and then why does the body happen? Why do things happen the way they happen to people? Now, all these things are things that people need to know. And I told you about the body defense. One of the body defense I told you about, apart from the immunoglobulins, which are the immune system, I told you about the enzymes. The enzymes are very, very important. And I told you about the work of the enzyme. And I told you about different types of enzymes. And so there are different body. We talked about the hormone, the role that the hormones play in the body. We talked about all these things. We talked about your pH system in your blood. This video I'm talking about, it is on my page. It was in the last live session I talked about all these things. When these levels, we talked about the protection, the pancreatic enzyme, we talked about the enzymes of the liver, we talked about their functions, and those functions, any lifestyle, emotion, stress, whatever it is that affects the enzymatic activity in your body, there's going to be a breakdown of a defense. And when there's a breakdown, certain symptoms begin to manifest. So that's one of the things that a health assessment does for you. It helps you to eliminate the chances of it helps to assess the enzymatic activities, and then your defenses. So so during the profiling, we are checking your immune response, we are checking your allergy responses, we are checking all those things to find out if there is a breach, and then what you can do to restore order and keep the community or your systems in the balanced way. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. You are learning. It's okay. Thank you so much. Mommy, thank you so much. I'm seeing some very beautiful people that I've not seen in a long time. Thank you, Mommy, for logging in. Thank you, Ma. From Delta State. Thank you so much. Thank you. So that's about that fatty liver. So I've just given you a run through of some of the tests that you can do and some of the symptoms, and then how we can move on from there. So let me quickly go into diabetes. Diabetes, what I'm not going to be talking about what is diabetes. I'm just going to be talking about what happens with your enzyme defense in diabetes, because right now the rise in diabetes is in diabetes now in the world globally. It's almost being said that in the year 2020, by the year 2028, that 8 in every 10, that is a statistical report that I went through in the course of preparation for this study. They were looking at lifestyle, looking at global changes, looking at global health situation, and they are saying that by the year 2028, 8 in 10 people would be at risk for type 2 diabetes. That is a very staggering number and statistics. And this is one of the reasons I decided that I was going to talk about diabetes, not in the way that you know it before, giving you information that can help you to make better choices. So what happens with your enzyme defenses? Normally, the amount of glucose in your body is kept within healthy ranges by a set of 4 hormones. There are 4 hormones, so that's why you have to go and look at that video again where I talk about hormonal defense as one of the ways the body keeps balance. So I talked about this, and I'm saying that for diabetes now there are 4 hormones that have the responsibility of keeping sugar level within normal. And these hormones are: number 1, insulin, your glucagon, cortisol, and adrenaline. But of these 4, one of them is responsible for ensuring that the sugar in the blood is within normal range, and that is insulin. Insulin's job is to ensure that your blood sugar is within normal range. Now, glucagon, cortisol, and adrenaline, their own job is to ensure that they counter the effect of insulin and raise blood sugar if it is falling rapidly or when it is very low. So I want you to take note. So there is a particular hormone whose job is to keep sugar levels within normal, which is to keep it that it is low. When you eat, it mops up the glucose in the blood. Then there are 3 whose job is to monitor the work of that other insulin to ensure that it doesn't fall below normal. And then if it is falling below normal, they trigger responses that will cause the sugar level to be raised up. Please follow me, don't go anywhere at this time, so that you can understand very well what is happening with your enzymes, because I get a lot of questions like, can diabetes be cured? Now, when this balance is not balanced, that's where you begin to have a lot of the problems that people have. And if we are going to prevent in 2028 8 people in 10 people coming down with type 2 diabetes, then this knowledge has to go far. People have to understand that it's not just insulin that has the responsibility of keeping your sugar within normal. There are other hormones. And then also, what you now need to take your health more seriously and more responsible. You have to be more responsible with your health and with the health decisions that you make. So let's move on. After a meal, maybe a carbohydrate meal or whatever meal that you have eaten, anything that you eat, for the body to utilize it, it has to be broken down to glucose. Glucose is the absorbable form of anything that you eat for the cells of the body to use it. So you eat only protein, it will still break down to glucose. Whatever it is, it gets broken down to glucose. So now you need to now take note that after a meal of carbohydrate that you have eaten, these things are broken down into simple sugar, and it is absorbed. Absorption takes place in your gut. Your gut is your intestine. So you see that I'm pointing to you again, another angle again, where if you have poor digestive health, your poor digestive health will affect glucose absorption in your gut. So all those, I go to toilet once in 3 weeks, I go to toilet once in 2 weeks, I go to toilet once in 5 days. You see, this lifestyle would cause you to have the chances. Let me not say you. I'm not predicting. I'm not deciding for you. The chances of beginning to have blood sugar imbalance. We call it blood sugar imbalance because before it becomes diabetic, there's first an imbalance. So when your gut absorption, so while you were growing up or while you were still young, you were not going to toilet, you just stay 3-5 days. You see, that affects absorption of of this glucose from the gut. So that's number 3 points I've given to you. I've talked about the hormones, I've talked about insulin, glucagon, cortisol, adrenaline, I've talked about your gut. So I'm answering the questions that are on your mind as far, does it have a cure, so let me go on. Then there are specific cells in the pancreas which are called the beta cells, whose job is to pump insulin. They pump out insulin. This insulin that is produced, they pump it out. And the insulin's job is to mop away, clear away glucose from the blood, like I told you at the beginning. So when they are clearing glucose from the blood, it's either it is immediately turned into energy for the body to quickly work. When the body has enough energy, or when the glucose the required for immediate energy is enough, maybe for the brain and other activities are enough, the next thing that the body does is that it now stores some of them in the muscles, and then it also stores them in the fat cells, of the body. So these are ways that the body mops up insulin. As we go on, I'm going to talk about exercise. I want you to take note of this and then see the role of exercise in maintaining your sugar level, in ensuring that your sugar levels are within the sugar balance, your blood sugar balance is within range. So as part of this system, the body system also, glucose is stored. One of the functions of the liver is to store glucose. So when there is excess, the liver also stores. So you see why when somebody is beginning to have blood sugar balance, usually when people come to me and they say they want to do treatment, I tell them in my therapy, I cannot do a therapy for you for blood sugar without first of all working on your liver. In fact, there's no patient of mine that come to do consultation and I'm treating, and I will start first with your liver, because that's where the glucose excess is stored. So like we're making sure that where the enzyme, where the problem could have originated from, where it could have originated from, we'll ensure that those areas are well taken care of. I hope you are. Thank you very much. Yes, thank you for being in this session. Thank you very much. Okay, so let me move on, because I promised that I was trying to be within 1 hour. So if this system that I just talked about goes wrong, what happens is that your blood sugar levels begin to skyrocket. And that means that it's either the insulin that is being produced by the body is not being used, or the body is not producing insulin. And common cause of these systemic disruptions are, it could be as a result of your genes, it could be as a result of lack of physical activity, it could be as a result of chronic stress. It could also be as a result of overloading your system with food that burn very fast. When you eat them, they easily burn into glucose, loading your system over and over with this high glucose index, high glycemic index foods, and then when you load them over and over, after a while your body becomes resistant to this insulin. When the insulin is talking, your body will be looking at it like, oh, this person has come again. What happens with glucose overload? When you eat a food that has low glycemic index, let me give you an example of maybe cornflakes, or maybe bread, spaghetti, macaroni, basically foods that have very high glycemic index are food that are, most of them are not, than the one that is within the rough, it's not smooth. So if you're going to have those things that are very refined. So before you start asking me, what of this, what of that, just take note of this. When they are very refined, the problem is that the shaft that is supposed to help to ensure that the release in the blood when you eat it, the release of glucose is not sudden. That goes, you now have a sugar spike that takes your sugar level very. There are some that have slow release that gradually the body breaks them because of the process of absorption. it takes a while for them, for it to be absorbed in the gut, rather than something that you just eat now. It becomes a paste, easily broken down, and then it can easily tamper with your blood sugar balance. You know, so examples of these things, your cakes, your biscuits, your pastas, your spaghettis, whatever, all those things in themselves have been refined to the point that they have the tendency to cause your sugar levels to spike. Now, when your sugar levels keep spiking over a period of time, you begin to have insulin resistance. Your cells in the body begin to resist insulin, and after a while, insulin function is reduced, and then you need to take hypoglycemic agent, like something else, to help your body become sensitive to insulin or to produce insulin. You know, so I want to welcome you on YouTube. Thank you for joining. I can see you. Please wave and tell me where you are participating from. Also all right, from Abeokuta, thank you so much. Mr. Akim from Ogun State, Mr. Ifeanyi from Ogun State, thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. Thank you so much. So when you eat very fast release carbohydrates, one thing that you experience that there's usually a sugar surge, and this refined carbohydrate at every meal will put you on a roller coaster, on a sugar roller coaster. Now, it is this sugar roller coaster that causes insulin resistance, and when the insulin resistance takes it for so long, your sugar levels, your body doesn't respond to the insulin that you produce, doesn't utilize the insulin that is produced, glucose level remain very high in the body, and then the person doesn't move immediately to being diabetic. The body will still try to compensate until it becomes too much for the body to handle. So what happens during insulin resistance? Normally, insulin will send message to the cells that, hey, like those ones in the muscles and the fat, telling them to open up. When there is excess glucose in the blood, it will send message to them, open up. These are channels where normally they are supposed to store this glucose. And then when there is lack, like maybe when you're fasting, when you didn't get to eat food on time, the body is supposed to now release those ones that have been stored, then your body uses it. But if after years of constantly having skyrocketing roller coaster sugar levels, and insulin keeps the sugar level before insulin, the body keeps producing a lot more to meet up with the demand that you are making, or because of what you are eating, because of your lifestyle of sedentary. I mean, there are people who don't do any form of exercise. So I even see people, they wear these hand wristwatches that counts their step. It has almost become like a fashion, you know. They don't really take steps. They don't do any form of exercise. So those glucose stored in the cells, in the muscles of the body, they are not burning them out because of the lifestyle. And then there's more that is in the blood, and then there's more that is in the blood, and then the insulin is having to do the whole work. The work that muscle is supposed to do to burn, insulin is the one having to do it. The one that fat cells are supposed to burn, insulin is, after a while, the insulin itself gets tired and the cells are not responding, almost like a riot. You know, just bringing it down in simple ways that you can really relate with it. As much as possible, I try to, when I'm doing my health seminars, I don't want to come and be giving you grammar. Grammar will be useless to you. So I try to relate it with things that are easy for you to relate with, and to make to be able to make healthy decisions on the basis of. So after years that these insulin levels are higher, and there is more, glucose levels are higher than the system was designed for, the storage system will begin to ignore, like I said. And this is worse because your glucose levels is still increasing based on what you are eating. And then what happens when this takes place? The person's body begins to have build up. The kidneys begin to compensate. When there's build up levels, kidneys begin to compensate by causing. Remember that the adrenal gland, you know, they are on the kidneys, and when they begin to observe that the levels are getting too high, what happens? The kidney begins to compensate by causing you to urinate more, to lose some of this sugar in the blood. So some of them, they begin to seep out through urine, and then the person begins to urinate more because sugar is heavy, And when there is heaviness of sugar in the blood, and sugar is also, excess of glucose in the blood is toxic to the blood. And then that toxicity will cause the body to begin to compensate by causing you to urinate. And then when there's increased urination, the body will trigger a thirst. So you are always thirsty. You are always wanting to drink water. You know, so these are some of the ways that the body tries to compensate. And usually the person is not even... Oh, sorry. I hope you can still hear me. I hope I'm with you. I'm seeing someone saying that network is bad. Is it my network or is it your network? I don't know. Please, can someone wave? Can someone let me know if it's... Can you hear me? Are you hearing me? So what are the tests that you can do? What are the tests that you can do to check yourself? So there was someone that came to see me some days ago, and the person was telling me he has never... He brought his mother for consult, for health assessment. He has never checked his sugar reading. I'm like, you have never? He said, no, he has never. And then there was someone else who came with him, and the person said that he was always falling ill, he was always treating malaria, every 2 weeks malaria, it was always not well. And he was accusing the nurse who was taking care of him that, nurse, you are not, your work is not okay. And after the nurse finished talking to him, and the nurse said, please go and check your sugar. I said, what is that? What do you mean by check my sugar? There's nothing wrong with my sugar. In my family, we don't have sugar problem. We don't do this, we don't do that. The nurse advised him to go and check his sugar. He went to check his sugar level was 390 something. He said he didn't understand. That whenever he feels thirsty, that he will drink, he will be very thirsty and he will be feeling weak, he will drink Pepsi, he will drink Pepsi, he will drink, he will drink, he will drink, he will drink. He was still loading his system. And then by the time he was sharing the experience, so he was like, he was not telling the person that came with, that they both came and said, please go and check your sugar. I said, go and check it. You see, so you find out someone says, in my family, we don't have diabetes. Why do I not have diabetes? Your lifestyle broke the defense. The defense, you know, once the defense is broken, once the enzymes are broken, the defense enzymes. So in therapy, when I do therapy for people, I always want to find out which enzymes have been broken. So there have been some people that came and did only consultation because a health assessment is more expensive than consultation. Consultation, you come, you tell me your problem, I send you to do tests. On the basis of that test, I may not be able to give you as much information as if I were to give you, if you were to do a health profile. Because during the health profile, we'll go through your hormones, we'll check, because all the defense system. So we assess all of your defense system. On the basis of your defense system, when we have assessed your defense system, then we can now tell you that this is what you are doing. I mean, there was someone who came to me some weeks ago, last week or so, he did health assessment. And on the basis of the health assessment, I told him, I said, why don't you readjust? Okay, so what he was eating before, I said, just change it like this. This one that you eat for dinner, eat it in the morning. What you eat for morning, eat it in the evening. And then by the time he started sending me the sugar reading, was, before now, was 10.7, 10.1, 10.7, 10.1. I have people who are on drugs, they are on all kind of diabetic drugs, and yet their sugar levels are 290 something, 300 something, very high levels. Because the same problem is that the cells are ignoring all those hypoglycemic agents. And you cannot, unless you work on the cells, you don't work on the cells. Now, I'm not talking supplements. I'm not a supplement person. I don't do supplements, you know. So unless you work on the cells of the body, and then the cells will now respond, because the cell, any drug you take, the cells must respond. If the drug doesn't respond, you will not have any reaction. You will not notice anything that has happened. You know, so cellular response. You know, so this person changed his diet, and the next day he sent me reading 10.1. I have not given him medication. The next time he sent me 8.7, 9 points, 8 points. And then I told him, I said, here you see. I said, this is what the assessment has done for you. You are the one eating the food, you are the one cooking the food. I did not, I just told you these things. Then there was, from the assessment, especially looking at your allergy and your immune responses, we're able to say, don't eat this or eat this. And when we say don't eat this, it's not on a general level, it's on your cellular level, on you as a person. What your body would not accept, what will cause the cells and the enzymes in the body to not be balanced. Remember when I was talking to you the last time, and if you have not watched that video, please go and look at that video, it's there. I told you about the potassium And I told you about the work of potassium, especially if you're hypertensive. You want to go and watch that video so that you can ensure that your potassium sodium levels are always balanced. As often as possible, you want to prevent heart problem, you want to prevent blood pressure problem, you want to ensure that your enzyme, your potassium, and that enzyme, potassium enzyme, that particular one is not inhibited, because sodium inhibits the activities of potassium. So if you are eating a lot of potassium, if you are eating a lot of sodium rich diet, now you can say, I don't add salt in my food. Everything that you add to your meal, whatever it is, some of them have some form of sodium. I mean, I went to consult with a patient some time ago, and I was looking at the water that the person brought the water, and I said, don't drink this water. The person said, why? I said, this water is very poisonous. He said, why? I said, because someone had paid me money. We did an comparative investigative analysis on 10 water samples in Lagos, and we were astonished to find out the amount of sodium in some water. This person had gone to everywhere. She was not feeling well. And I knew that the laboratory investigation doesn't point to us that there was a disease, but there was an imbalance. And this imbalance was the reason for all the symptoms. I mean, she was feeling headache, she was feeling dizzy, all her joints were aching. So we had to investigate. And then I said, tell me about the water you are drinking. And she mentioned it. I said, so we did the test. On all those water samples, we did those water, and she looked at the analysis. I mean, 5 laboratories investigated. And so this other person that I went to consult with, she brought the water out, and I said, look at the water. I'm like, I said, look at this. This bottle of water has sodium 95 milligrams. I said, how many of it do you drink in a day? She said she drinks about, the small one, she drinks about 10 of it. I said, that means you drink 950 milligrams of water from just water. I said, so you will be having palpitation. It's not Satan, it's not your village people. It's just that you didn't know. You know, and just that knowledge, she's been fine. It's been 2 years now. She's been very well. She's okay. She's not on any supplement. She's not. I didn't even have to give her drugs. She didn't have to take drugs, because I will not give you medication if you do not need it. So a health assessment helps you to know, how are you? What do you need to do to be better? How do you prevent some illnesses? How do you know, what do you need to do? And then this knowledge and knowledge that you impart on your children. Now imagine these things you are hearing now. Imagine these things you are learning now. You need to start putting them in place for your children. Your children begin to eat. You see, and they will buy drink. Say, their children, they will burn it. They will burn it. How are they burning it? When they are sitting inside the house watching movies, up and playing games, how are they really burning it? When the driver takes them to school and brings them back from school, how are they burning it? How much physical activity? So they are running around. Really, they are not running around. The load of sugar you are giving to them. And then you have a lot of children who are having attention deficit disorder. You have some of them, they have behavioral disorder, sugar spike. Today the sugar fly up, now it fly down. Those spikes affect the level, even for a child. So these things you are learning, take them and use them. I mean, I told you people when I started on my birthday that the Holy Spirit told me that I should go and teach people. He has made me a minister of health. I should teach people health. And I give you valuable stuff. I don't come and talk about things that are not valuable. So these things I'm giving to you, I'm giving you things that are based on solid scientific studies. I'm a scientist, I'm a researcher. So I don't just come and tell you what I think. I tell you what I have scientific evidence to back up. And I'm telling you that these things I'm saying, please put them to work. Use this knowledge to make better choices. So what are the tests that you can do? Maybe you're already diabetic, you will know what tests to do. Maybe you have never even considered your sugar level. Maybe this is a good opportunity. First test you can do is fasting blood sugar. Why? This is a standard way. What is the purpose of fasting blood sugar? Fasting blood sugar is a test to check, because there are people that do FBS and they don't even know why they have to do FBS. Now I'm letting you know, FBS is a test that actually checks the efficiency of your body to clear glucose out of the bloodstream. So after you have eaten like your last meal in the night, you know, by the morning time, your ability of your body to efficiently clear up, because when you finish eating, your sugar levels may rise. It's expected all the food you ate during the day, it's expected that your body efficiently clears it by the next morning. So when you are having a situation where in the next morning your body didn't clear up from yesterday, then there's a problem. Your body, you are probably having insulin resistance. You know, so that's one test. Fasting blood sugar, I've explained. The postprandial is another test. This is a test that is used to measure how fast your, you know, how rapid does sugar level go up in your blood when you finish eating. you know, irrespective of what you eat. So that's why a postprandial, what it is you are taking, the amount of glucose you are taking is usually measured. So when you go to the lab to do a postprandial, when the doctor asks you to do a postprandial, the lab that knows what they are doing, they know how to conduct the test. They will give you something that contains some glucose, and then they will check the blood. They will take your reading over a 2 hours period. They can take about 2 or 3 or 4. Sometimes it could take 30 minutes, then 1 hour, then 1 hour 30 minutes, then 2 hours. They monitor this reading. You know, these are ways to check what is happening with your cells. How much of it is, you know, running into the, how does, when you finish eating, what happens? That's a way. So I have some patients who will sit down and go by themselves and think that they can go to the lab and let a laboratory do a postprandial for you. It's not that you do tests, then every 30 minutes you'll be doing blood. That's not it. You don't even know what you're checking. And you're not supposed to check. Go to a standard lab. Let them do it for you. They will monitor you. So you cannot say you finish eating eba, then you begin to check. It's not eba that you're supposed to use to check. You understand? Usually it's a drink. And then, you know, so let me not exhaust too much time because I have other things to talk about, you know. So that's a postprandial test. Then the third test that you can do, you know, to check is your glycosylated hemoglobin, which is called HbA1c. This is a test that measures how sugar coated your red blood cells have become. Please, can you project a normal healthy cell and a cell that is clotted with sugar, so that you understand what we're talking about? Just let them project it so that you see. There's this one that we saw that there's this image, you know, so please kindly project it so that you see what this HbA1c is checking. This HbA1c is checking to be sure. Hello. Yes, you can send in your question. Hi. Hello. Thank you for joining on Instagram. Thank you for joining on YouTube. Thank you for joining on Facebook. Now, you are hearing me, my network. Is the network my network or your network? Please, I need someone to comment to me and let me know. No, this is cholesterol. I'm talking about, this is what? This is, please. Yes, thank you. Now this test, now you are seeing on the screen, you can see a normal blood, you can see a blood that has high blood glucose. Now this, your glycosylated hemoglobin, is a test that checks, that measures how sugar coated your red blood have become from too much blood glucose. It is somebody may be doing FBS, and the FBS is, still leave the picture there, and the FBS is normal. Fasting blood sugar is still showing normal, but this HbA1c is abnormal. What that test is showing you is that there is danger. You are already becoming at risk for this glycemia. This glycemia is a condition where there is an irregular balance in the glucose in the blood, in the sugar in the blood. You know, and that means that your system is not handling glucose well as it should. So this HbA1c is a test that you should do, and it's a test that shows you the future. If now you are not, your sugar level is okay, your sugar level is all right, but the amount of sugar that is binded the amount of glucose that is binded to your red blood cells is abnormally higher than normal. It's normal. It's more than normal, and so you need to do something about it. It means that you need to change your lifestyle. It means you need to take decisions, be active. So let's move on. Thank you. So what is the way forward? If this HbA1c is caught before too much damage is done, it's more easier for you to reverse the glucose imbalance. But oftentimes people wait till too late before they are able to know that there's an imbalance. You know, they wait till it's too late before they can know that there's an imbalance. And while they have waited for too long, this imbalance continues and the body's compensatory mechanisms are begins to get weary. And then the presence of this glucose for so long in the body begins to cause toxicity, makes them prone to infections, brings down in the immune system. You see, all this happens because someone was not paying attention. So this is time for you to take charge of your health. This is time for you not to assume. This is time for you not to cut corners about your health. You need to be intentional. You need to take decisions and make sure that the decisions you make are decisions that are based on your body, not on Google or on general assumption. Have you changed the picture? All right, well, what's the way forward? You need to do an assessment. A health assessment will help you. I've talked about it. Then you need to follow a diet that stabilizes your blood sugar for you to know what you know. Some people say, what should I eat? How should I eat what I should eat? Well, diets that have low glycemic diet, low glycemic, 45 to 65 glycemic load daily. Your glycemic load, if you want to keep your sugar levels within normal, that means that you need to combine foods that are within 45 to 65, everything together, 45 to 65 daily will keep your glycemic load within normal. You need to exercise. You need to get up and start going to the gym or start walking and running. You need to get exercise. You need to get moving. I know you are tired, but you are feeling weak, but you need to start doing some exercise. And then you need to eat food that are rich in. There are some. When I did the health and wellness seminar and I was talking about A to Z, vitamin A to Z, sources of vitamins, nutrients, vitamins and their deficiencies and the complications during that webinar. Now that particular webinar that has vitamins A to Z is not free. It was done free, but the webinar is available if you want it. In it, I talk about vitamins A to Z, what the common sources of them are, and then where you can get them, Nigerian sources, I mentioned it. So if you want to have that access to that video, it's not free. That video is 10,000. You need to have it. When you watch it, you will hear if you are diabetic, you will hear the things that you should eat that have that nutrients that I'm going to call now, because I'm going to tell you what vitamins, and then you need to go and eat it to provide your body with nutrients. These things are the things that your cells of your body will require. Your cells require them for them to be reactivated. Right now they are on strike, or like, strike is the word that readily comes to my mind right now. But you know, they've been overstressed with the persistent levels of imbalance of blood sugar, such that they've now, become non-responsive. So you need to take actions. You need to take actions. Are you there? Can you hear me? Can I be sure that you can hear me? Okay, thank you. All right. Then you need to eat with every meal, your breakfast, your lunch, your dinner. You have to make sure that there's something. You have a raw vegetable, so these are things that can keep your glycemic load lower than normal. Not lower than normal, like within check. And then you have to make sure that in your food, so I often have diabetics who will say, I'm eating only carbohydrate, they're not eating protein. You need to eat both carbohydrates and protein, but you have to ensure that in your meal they are balanced. In that your food, there should be protein, there should be carbohydrate, there should be some oil in it, there should be some vegetables, but your vegetables should not be cooked with your meal. Your vegetables should be as much as possible raw. So when I'm talking raw vegetables now, I'm talking vegetables like carrot, like cucumbers. These things, you must have them raw in your meal. And if you are even going to have other type of vegetables, they can just be steamed but not cooked. You understand? And then I would say to you that you need to come and do your health profile. A health profile will help you to make better choices. So now let me go into the questions that have been asked. I'm done with my slide. I said it that I was going to keep to 1 hour, and thank God I was able to do all of that in 1 hour. I already said that people should send in their questions, and I'm glad that quite a number of you sent in questions. I'll take as much question as I can answer. Number one question, this question came on the YouTube page. He said, Dr. Rita, Can cholesterol make you have tingling and a little numbness in your fingers? And how does it make you feel? Please, can you project the image of cholesterol in the blood, cholesterol in the arteries? What happens is that when the cholesterol levels are abnormal, they cause a condition known as arteriosclerosis. The arteriosclerosis is a condition in which there is deposit of cholesterol in the arteries. Now, when the arteries are loaded with cholesterol, they reduce the amount of blood that flows to any body part. So if it is to the legs now, it can be, thank you very much, if it's to the leg now, it can be that the amount of blood that is getting to the leg is very reduced. And so the person will be experiencing tingling sensation. You know, the person will be experiencing tingling sensation, and this tingling sensation is as a result of reduced blood flow to that part of the body. Now you can look at from this image now, you can see a normal blood, a normal artery. Then you can see an artery that has moderate amount of cholesterol, or not moderate, high level. Then you can see very high level where flow of blood is greatly reduced. When flow of blood reduces in this condition, so you can imagine someone that is diabetic. That person that is diabetic now has high cholesterol, join it. Amount of blood that is getting to his leg will reduce so much. Very soon he will soon have sore. Numbness to the leg, those, you know, they begin to have some further diabetes in itself is a problem. Now combining high cholesterol to it is, oh sorry, the people on YouTube cannot, on Instagram cannot see the image. Oh dear, I'm so sorry. How do I show you now? Okay, look at what I'm saying. Yes, this is what I'm saying. Sorry, you people that are on Facebook, on YouTube, you can see those on YouTube, on Instagram. So this is a healthy cell. Can you see the image now? Okay, yes. So this is a healthy cell. This is a cell that has some levels of, see the level, these are the cholesterol, the wax. Cholesterol is a waxy substance. This is it. And this is proper obstruction. And this, yes. So this is what I'm talking about. So I'm saying in a condition when somebody has this situation, when someone has this condition, it will cause symptoms like tingling sensation. So to answer this complaint, yes, a tingling sensation, some pain, some cramps, some discomfort in the extremities will happen when there is high cholesterol. In fact, some people will have, that can even give rise to some conditions that varicose vein, and then some other people have blood clots of blood, because the body will try to compensate. The body always tries to make up. And then the question is, how does it make you feel? Well, I just described how it makes you feel. Number 2 question. Hello doctor, please, can a high HbA1c reading with constant normal fasting blood sugar reading indicate diabetes? I already answered that when I talked about it, but I'm just going to say to you that, of course, based on what I explained to you now, you can see that it doesn't indicate that you are diabetic yet, but HbA1c is a test that indicates dysglycemia, which is a blood sugar level that goes either too low or too high. And this HbA1c is a test to check the amount of sugar that bounds to your blood. So it checks your sugar regulatory function. And a high reading is a clear indication that diabetes is on its way. It doesn't mean that you're diabetic yet, but it shows that diabetes is on its way, and you need to make some one of the things that HbA1c that you can do to get reading number is a lifestyle adjustment. A lifestyle adjustment is what you need to do. A lifestyle adjustment. You need to make sure that your enzymes are balanced, your enzymatic functions are balanced. Those are very important things. So if you're watching me today and you have done that test and you can find it's high, then you need to do that. A health assessment, you can reach out to us, reach out to any of the numbers shown on the screen, and then a decision can be taken. Is it possible to have a high HbA1c and not be diabetic? Yes, this is question number 3. Yes, it's possible, because that time you are not yet diabetic, you are still at is it possible to have Hello, doctor, please can... Okay, yes, I've answered that. So number 4 question, is it possible to have... Yes. Have high HbA1c and not be diabetic? Yes, I already said that. Because, and then another purpose of HbA1c test is also to tell you the sensitivity or insensitivity of the cells in the blood to insulin. Number 4 question, does fatty liver also, or does fatty liver cause cholesterol? Is there a permanent cure for it? Fatty liver is a condition, I already talked about it, and this is a question that I already answered. So I'm using the picture to do illustration. So you can remove the picture now. You can remove the picture now. So the next question is, does fatty liver also call... So this question is not well worded. Called cholesterol. Is there a permanent cure for it? Yes, you can be cured with therapy, with treatment. We will go back and do tests to be normal. Yes, we treat it very well. Yes, it can be treated, and yes, it will go back to normal. Remember that fatty liver is usually a condition caused by, is a non-alcoholic, also called non-alcoholic fatty disease, liver disease rather. And it is a condition, a range of conditions that is caused by build-up of fat in the liver. And people who are overweight usually have it more. But there are some people I've had. So there was a consultation I did in Lagos some time ago, last month, and 2 people came to me. 2 people, one was quite overweight, obviously overweight. The other one was very slim. And so I recommended that they should go and do this standard test, And then the one that was slim was like, ah, look at me now. What are you? I'm even very thin. Said there's no fat in my body. I said, well, fat no dey show for face. That's what I told the person. Lo and behold, by the time the levels came out, his cholesterol was 300 and something. The LD, no, not the LDL, the total cholesterol. The LDL was about 30 something. It was quite high, very high range. I can't remember exactly, but quite high. And the other one that was obese was also high, but the one who was lean, his result was higher than the one that... So you cannot say that you cannot so I'm saying don't use your physical look to make a decision. Question number 5. Hello doctor, eating of eggs, someone said it's not good for someone with high BP. Is it true? What of milk? How good is it to refer for? So there's no scientific evidence that shows that egg can increase blood pressure. Neither is any scientific evidence, at least that I'm aware of, that milk increases blood pressure. However, milk is a common allergen, and not everybody is tolerant of milk. But then if you watch the video on cholesterol, you find out that egg is one of the animal sources that can cause, from which consumption of excess of it can cause you to have high levels of low density lipoprotein, which is the bad cholesterol. So plenty of meat, plenty of bacon, all those things. Now when you have high cholesterol like the image you just saw, will reduce the blood flow, blood circulation in your body, and then that reduction of blood circulation in your body can also now affect your blood pressure, and then your blood pressure goes high. So if you are having high blood pressure as a result of high levels of cholesterol, you need to bring your cholesterol levels within normal. And we have products that have been proven to work very well to bring down cholesterol, to even take care of, our diabetes tea. Our diabetes tea, one of the things that it does is that it increases the sensitivity of the cells of the body to insulin. So it's not like as if the tea is going to go and produce insulin. No, your body produces the insulin, but the non-resistance that your body has been having, the tea, our product helps to go and those things that are causing the non-resistance to go and do repairs. You understand? But then there are some cases or some people who have had a condition for so long, or they are already having complication of those cases. a health assessment is always body balance. But one thing you need to know is that your body produces cholesterol every day. Your liver, one of the key functions of your liver is to produce cholesterol. And in fact, your body produces up to 1,000 milligrams every day, and your body uses 600 milligrams and stores 400. And if you do not eat regularly, your body will produce more. And then I also told you in that video, I said plants don't have cholesterol, very little cholesterol. What plant has is phytosterol, and the body prefers to absorption of phytosterol is faster and better for the body than from animal cholesterol that you consume. So when you consume plant-based diet, plant-based diet in their whole form, you provide your body with phytosterol. Those phytosterol, your body will use it, and then it will help to regulate so that from the gut absorption, proper absorption is taking place and takes place rather. And when your body takes what it requires, what it doesn't require, the presence of phytosterol, it binds to cholesterol and it allows it to go, you pass it out. And that's one of the reasons I always tell people to ensure that their food, most of the food they eat is plant-based. Eat a lot of plant-based food in their whole form. Remove refined, processed meal from your diet. So yes, you can get more. Please, doctor, can I know if the cholesterol? How can I know if the cholesterol in my bloodstream is real? The best way to know cholesterol does not show in the face. A laboratory investigation would help you to do that. And what tests can you do? You can go and do a lipid profile, lipogram or lipid profile. Now, Mr. Emmanuel, so there are some questions that came directly. I'm going to be calling their names. Mr. Emmanuel, how can I get rid of cholesterol in my body? First of all, cholesterol is produced by the liver. Cholesterol is needed. Cholesterol, if you watch that video, you see that cholesterol has very essential responsibility that it does in your body. So you are not thinking of getting rid of it. One of your sex hormone, ability to sustain erection, ability to enjoy sex, all those things. Cholesterol has a key function in that. Other hormonal activities that happens in the body, cholesterol has a key function. Remember that insulin, glucagon, all those things are all hormones. Cholesterol is one of the responsibility of cholesterol is to help those endocrine glands to produce cholesterol, so to produce hormones. So if you want to get rid of it, that means you are planning to alter your system, and you cannot remove cholesterol because your liver produces it. So if I just say that even if you don't eat for the next 30 days, you are fasting 30 days, your body is producing cholesterol every day. You produce 1,000 milligrams. You can go and verify this is what I'm saying. And your body uses 600, so you have 400 in excess. If you now add it to the food that you are eating, and then when you are not eating, your body will produce more. But when you eat, there is a balance in the body. Please watch that video. I spent 2 hours talking to you about cancer. I spent 2 hours talking to you about the body defense, and I talked to you about the whole video is 2 hours, and I talked to you about cholesterol. Please, I'm waiting for your questions. I'm looking at your questions and the responses. Can you see me? What is happening? I hope we are still live. Oh, please, am I live? Because okay, am I still live? Okay, so please, are you still hearing me? Am I still live? Can you see me? Am I still? Okay, thank you very much. All right, so like I was saying, you cannot, don't plan on getting rid of cholesterol. If you cannot get rid of it, no, you can't get rid of it, but you can ensure that it is within normal levels. Now there are lifestyle adjustment, exercise, dietary change, your mind and your mood, very, very important, that can help to regulate. And then eating, especially having breakfast, eating regularly, having your breakfast, your lunch, eating regularly. Those are ways that you can keep them within normal check. But when you have had build up in your bloodstream or build up in your fat, you need to get rid of those build up, and that's where the therapy comes in. That's where the cholesterol team comes in. That's where a therapy comes in. In fact, when your liver is already being affected, I don't advise anybody to do home remedy. Don't go and be drinking things. You know, take decisions that will help you. You know. So question number 9. That's Igbagdo, causes of frequent urination. Okay, thank you. Causes of frequent urination, chest pain, and noisy stomach. Now, there are several things that can cause frequent urination. There are several things that can cause chest pain. There are several things that can cause noisy stomach. All these can point to the same illness, and they can point to different illnesses. But one thing is this. This frequent urination can be as a result of diabetes, can be as a result of prostate disorder, can be as a result of kidney problem, can be as a result of infection. You know, chest pain can be as a result of high cholesterol. It can cause chest pain. It can also be as a result of problem with your lungs, can be as a problem with your heart. Noisy stomach can be as a result of gas, can be as a result of hunger, can be as a result of hyperactivity of your intestine. It is not warm. When your stomach is making noise, it's not warm. Warm don't make noise. You know, that is a myth. When we get to digestive system, you know, health on that, talk through on the digestive system, we're going to talk about that. You know, so that sound that your stomach makes, it's not warm that is making noise. You know, you hear that warm is making noise. It's not warm. Warm don't talk. Warm are quiet. You don't even see them with your eyes. They are microscopic. You know, so number 10. Please, doctor, what are the symptoms of cholesterol? I'm just going to run through that because I had more than 20 questions that came from symptoms of cholesterol. It's in that video, but I'm just going to run on it. Number 1, there's no sign. Usually there's no sign, but then when the levels become very high, it can cause headaches, it can cause dizziness, it can cause your stool to be yellowish and soft, and then it can cause you to have discoloration on your skin, it can cause palpitation, it can cause chest pain, it can cause high blood pressure, it can cause heart problem, it can cause difficulty breathing, it can cause stroke, can cause fatty liver diseases. Then I have Mr. Kennedy. How do I regulate my sugar, my blood sugar? I've been using metformin but not giving the desirable results. What do I do, please? I have answered this question in this talk. In fact, this question was one of the reasons I decided to do that presentation on diabetes. But then, in your own specific case, a health assessment will need to be done for you, not a consultation, a health assessment, so that we can find out why are you not even tolerating drugs. But I've had quite a number of patients who have experienced the same thing, and we've been able to help them. So you should reach out to us by reaching the numbers that are showing on the screen at this time. Mr. Asekun Ade, what is the cause of insistent urination? Now, diabetes is a normal cause. Sometimes, before even, not even say diabetes, blood sugar imbalance is a normal, is one of the frequent causes, because when the body is trying to compensate to try to bring the sugar levels that are high in the blood down to normal, it will cause you to urinate more. Another cause of insistent urination can be prostate problem. When the person has problem with the prostate, can cause you, it's not as if it's the same urine you are passing, but you know, you have what they call urgency. Now you have to go to the toilet, and then you don't empty completely. It could also be as a result of infection in the bladder or irritation in the bladder. It could also be as a result of onset of kidney problem. That can be an onset. It can also be lifestyle, such as alcohol. You drink a lot of alcohol, that can make you urinate. And then it could also be that some food or some drugs that you are taking, you may be on some diuretic drugs. Some diuretics are drugs that tend to make you go to toilet to go and urinate more often. So then number 14, Ibrahim, I want to know how to avoid fatty liver. If I want to know what to do to avoid fatty liver. I already talked about it, and if you have it, what do? You need to do treatment. You should not go and be looking for anything to drink. Your liver is very important to you, and if any irreversible damage to your liver is irreversible. You know, so it's the liver is an organ that has the ability to regenerate itself. That is, new cells will reform again. But there are some things that can cause it to have damages that will not repair itself, because it forms fibrous scars. You know, fibrosis, which is a condition known as liver cirrhosis. When you have very fatty liver for a very long time, these things can begin to cause fibrous tissues to grow that will not make, like just like you have a scar, you now have scars, and those areas that have scars will not regenerate and reduce the liver function. But what can you do with your lifestyle? You need to change your lifestyle. You need to look at your lifestyle. And then how do you know what lifestyle is good for you? What time do you sleep? How many hours do you sleep in a day? What do you drink? How much, what kind of water do you drink? What are the other things you take? You need to stay away from coffee. You need to stay from caffeine. You know, caffeinated studies are showing that these things have effect on your body. You know, so you need to take steps to ensure that you do these things. Then you need to eat well, ensure that you're eating well, and ensure that your cholesterol levels are within normal range. My last question that I'm going to take before I look at the page to see if there are any. So, diabetic neuropathy. Someone, Emmanuel Wagbai said, how does one arrest diabetic foot ulcer before it occurs? But the signs are already showing like having a neuropathy. Neuropathy is an advanced stage of diabetes. This is a condition where diabetes, high blood sugar, begins to cause injury on the nerves, usually injury on the nerves of the leg. One of the ways as a diabetic, even as a human being that have legs, you need to ensure that you care for your skin, especially the skin of your legs. Pay attention to your skin, ensure that your toes are well cared, ensure that you are not walking barefooted outside, ensure that you wear the right sizes of shoes, ensure that you wear the appropriate shoes for the appropriate circumstance or for the appropriate situation, or not circumstance, for the appropriate function. You know, so when you have to, for instance, you want to go to the gym, you know, then the sizes of your shoe, ensure don't manage. You know, when you want to sell shoe to you, they will tell you, you should buy shoe that and that when you buy shoe, you can manage the shoe so that it will size you. Don't manage shoe. Buy shoe that sizes you, that fits you from the beginning. You know, buy it. So let me look at the page now. I think I'm done. I've answered all the questions. God helping me. I spent 1 hour 16 minutes. That's good. I tried. So let me look at the charts right now. Thank you. How does diabetic affect the eye? It affects the eye by the sugar levels being abnormal than normal. I think in the course of this lecture, how it affects every part of the body, I've covered it. It can be treated. One of the ways that you can ensure that anything that comes from high sugar level, your sugar level must come down to normal. Your sugar level must come down to normal. Please, can you project the number on the screen for them to call, to make contact? Project the number on the screen for them to make. If you want to book a consultation with me, you want to reach out to me, please project the number on the screen now. Thank you. So, thank you very much, Ms. Alsifo. What causes foamy urine? Is it high cholesterol or diabetes? There are several things that can cause foamy. Even kidney problem can cause foamy urine. So, your cause is what we need to identify. There are several things that can cause it. All those are symptoms. And symptoms are not indicative of a disease. Symptoms only show you, they are like signboard, they show you that there's a problem, and any of them can cause it. If your cholesterol levels are not normal, but hardly, well, I don't know, let me not say hardly, but sometimes when there's a problem, when cholesterol levels are very high, they affect the liver. When they affect the liver, anything that affects the liver will affect the output, and then when your body tries to compensate. Of course, when I was mentioning the symptoms of fatty liver, I told you, I said you can have foamy urine, you can have very dark urine. Your urine may be very dark and it won't seem as if it wants to be bloody. These are some of these things, and then there are some other underlying factors that people have that they are not aware of. Some people may have very high levels of uric acid in their body, they are not aware of it. You know, some people have high levels of inflammation, they are not even aware of it, and all this, the body will be, you know, bringing out symptoms. And the symptoms that the body brings to you is the body calling out. It's the body's way of calling out to you to say, hey, there's a problem. Hey, there's a problem. Do something. Do something. Do something. Do something. You know, so that's that. Okay, somebody was asking what hospital is most appropriate for health assessment. Well, I cannot say which hospital. I don't know how they do their health assessment, but I do my health assessment and health profiling through a system that have been put together to help to monitor, to check, to look at your life in the last 20 years. You know, so I know that people come to me to do health assessment, they pay for it, and then it's either done physically or it's done online. But whether it's physical or online, it's effective, and at the end of it all, you will know what your score is. In the last 1 month, all the health assessment that I've done, all the people that I've done health assessment for, all of them, there's no one that has scored. I mean, almost all of them, particularly from Lagos State, many of them are on level 2. The ideal level for people is level 4. Level 1 is that the person is very fat, or the person is already facing organ failure, and there was someone who was already having, the person was very okay, doing well, going to parties, doing everything. In fact, when she's talking, said you do not know, but from the health assessment, it showed that her kidney function, she had already dropped levels. I think she was in level 2 or level 3 for kidney function, grade 3 kidney. But she was not manifesting any symptom yet. From that assessment, we now went to do further tests, and the test now showed that she was, because when we did the assessment, like why are you having this? Every like if you do your allergy assessment, you have a score. Your immuno assessment, you have a score. Your hormonal assessment, so you are trying to conceive. You've gone everywhere. You are not conceiving. You are not able to conceive. You need to. This is different from going to do a hormonal assay. And a hormonal assessment is to assess the hormonal, the functionability. So there are some things that you experience every day. Your blood sugar balance, like even before someone would do the HbA1c, A1C test, from the blood sugar level assessment in the health profile. By the time you're asking them questions, each of these assessments have about, some have 30 questions, some have 40 questions, like that. They have been designed to, at the end of the day, to score the function, and then you now know what to do, and then which enzymes are lacking and what you need to do immediately, to take those steps. So the people take these decisions, and I'm reading through the questions again to be sure that I am getting them. So I do the health assessment. Call the number showing on the screen, and then you would have it. So I'm looking at the question. Okay, somebody asked, Madam Bukola, I have answered this your question on all platforms. You have asked me this question, I have answered you. You sent me, but I've answered you many, many times. I don't know whether you're not seeing it, or I don't know. No, this is the wrong number. This is the wrong number you're projecting. Why are you projecting my personal number? I'm seeing it here. This is the wrong number.
So what is number?
Listen to me as I'm telling you. 61713985 is the number. So how do you use the anti-cancer and cholesterol tea? I told you, I said it's either you use the cholesterol tea first, because cholesterol tea would solve an immediate problem that can cause immediate disaster. Cancer would not cause immediate disaster. Cancer usually buys some time first, and since you are preventing, you don't have cancer, you are preventing. So how should you do your cholesterol tea? I told you, I said either you take cholesterol tea for 1 week, or then after that 1 week, you now take your anti-cancer tea, then after that you go back again to the cholesterol tea. Or you can decide that you are going to take cholesterol tea for 4 days, maybe Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. You take the cholesterol tea morning and evening, and then the remaining 3 days of the week you take the anti-cancer tea. Anyhow you decide to do it, you can do it like that, but you should not take the both of them in the same teacup or at the same time. So I think that you should do that. YouTube seems to have stopped. Well, I'm sorry about that. So, any other question? I think I've done very well. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Those of you on Instagram, thank you. Okay. So, thank you so much for logging in. My name is Dr. Rita Jabin. Can it be scrolling? So I want to thank, I'm just seeing Jerusha Danladi. Thank you for logging in. Mr. Emmanuel, thank you. Mr. Ajayi, thank you. Thank you so much. Yes, thank you. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Your numbers should be by your side so participants can write them easily. Please, can the number just stand still so people can write them? Your numbers should be by your side. Okay, so let the numbers stay on the screen. Glaucoma is a condition caused by increased eye pressure. This called glaucoma is a condition known as hypertension of the eyes. Eye bright tea is not going to cure you of hypertension of the eyes, but it's going to relieve the symptoms. If you're having glaucoma, glaucoma is a condition that there are some conditions that you need to do a consultation for. Glaucoma is one of them. Cancer is one thing that if someone has cancer, I don't give cancer treatment to anyone whom I've not done consultation and health assessment for. I do not do kidney treatment for someone whom I have not done consultation and assessment for. Liver problems, you have to do consultation. You may not do assessment, but you must do a consultation. But if you want to prevent it from coming back, you should do an assessment. Every condition that involves organs, like the heart, you must do prostate, those are organs, you know, and then there's a way that they are, you know, so there are conditions that, but there are people who say, oh, I just want to buy the eye bright tea. Fine, you can't buy the eye bright tea, but it will not cure. The tea is not enough. We have other forms of medications that we give out, and those medications are only on our prescription. Without you prescribing, we can. If you go to our website, askdrrita.com, you will see some of those medications in bottles. They are not for sale without consultation. We will not sell it to you, because it's not in your best interest if you do them without it. Are you already projecting it? Am I behind or what? I'm not seeing it. So I'm looking at more questions. They said they should project it. That was what. And the person that brought that suggestion, so it's someone that I want us to take seriously. So please project it to be by my side, or let it stay. Okay. All right. So any other question? Any other question? We're going to be rounding off in the next 3 minutes. So those are numbers that you can use to reach my office. Those numbers are not going to reach me directly, but I can assure you that you will be reached. When we do consultation, you reach me directly. Whether physically or online, you always reach me. You know, so thank you. You can visit our website www.askdrrita.com, and you can so 1 minute to go. I want to say thank you so much for logging into this program. I want to believe that as a result of these things that you have heard today, you are able to make better decisions as regarding your sugar level, your cholesterol levels, and to care for your liver. This training is not to give you home remedies. This is to educate you, so don't be saying that I didn't tell you to go and eat this or go and eat that. No, I'm a naturopath, and by that it means that I studied. I have my license. I went to school, and I cannot be throwing out remedies, general remedies, because not everybody, especially for the conditions I'm talking about, for the liver, for diabetes, I cannot do that, because I don't want you to go and do a remedy and now have a complication and now be calling my name. So I do specific treatment for these conditions. If you call any of the numbers there, send us message on WhatsApp. Let my team member to respond to you. You can be sure of that. And we have a wellness group where you can get updates of upcoming programs. You can send a message to them, and they will respond to you and add you to the group. You can indicate that you want to be added to the group. So yes, thank you for the great enlightenment. Thank you. I hope I've been able to make a difference in your life today by showing you how to be well and teaching you how to stay well. Remember that health is not perfect. Health is actually a journey, and there are levels of perfect health. So you go from one level of perfect health to another level of perfect health to another level of perfect health. That's how you improve in your health. And lastly, before I round off, I just want to talk to you about your mind, importance of your mind. Your mind is very important in your health, especially if you are diabetic or if you have abnormal sugar levels. Your mood, there are organs in the body that are affected by your mood. One of them is your pancreas. And then, so if you are going through some form of stress or some form of emotional disturbances, it may affect your blood sugar balance. So find a way to manage your emotions, find a way to manage stress, find a way to balance things in your life so that you can live a better, healthier life. So I'll see you again in 2 weeks' time. I try as much as possible to keep it to either second Saturday and the first Saturday or second Saturday of the month. The same pattern we did it this time. The first one we had was 2 weeks ago. So we'll have a 2 weeks interval, but we'll have 2 sessions every month. And if you have a topic you want me to talk about that I've not talked about, first of all, check the page first to be sure that I've not done a video on it. But you can be rest assured that I would listen to your question, and then I will try as much as possible to provide you with simple explanations to make you have better, to help you make better decisions. So I'll see you in 2 weeks' time. Have a great weekend. God bless you. Bye. Bye bye. Thank you for logging in. Thank you.